Let's go.
Do it.
Let's go.
All right. This is episode 3-4 of Bold Ideas.
That's it.
I said bad ideas in the last one, but hey, we got a lot of bad ideas. So this is Bold Ideas with Michael Menino and
Brian Goss.
Hey, listen, we're going to talk about shit that most people don't want to talk about, and we're trying to get canceled. So let's see how this works out for you.
Trying so hard.
Trying so hard. I can't wait to get the hate mail. So,
well, I'm not gonna shy from it.
Huh?
Like dude said, we're gonna create the real base from the beginning. I don't want half flight people here and there just to
right.
If you like the messaging, ride with us. We'll keep it going.
Well, what is our message? Our message, I think,
is bold ideas. We're going to break people's brains because we're going to give them the goddamn truth.
Truth. Let's get on truth.
You want to go on truth? We went on truth
the
first time.
What do you think truth actually is?
We went on that the first time. I remember what I said too because I still believe it and I preached it kind of since. Is that truth is what's true to everybody.
Okay, so objective truth.
Yeah.
Subjective is like what you think.
Yeah. Subjective is opinion.
Subjective, yeah. So
that's the whole Socrates thing. We could go down that lane again if you want.
I love that lane, but let's just the truth part is the part that really gets me.
That's why he died.
I get it, but why? Here's what I don't understand. Yeah. I feel that Jesus Christ or anybody that told truth their whole time got harassed their entire life and then murdered at the end.
Okay.
Right?
What don't you understand about that?
Why is telling truth dangerous?
Because you question people who are in power.
But if it
doesn't matter what day and age it is. Yeah, but if you questioned the efficacy of the vaccine, or if you questioned where the fucking virus came from,
there was no question where the virus came from.
There was tons of shit you couldn't say online for how long? Because you were fucking with powers that you were well beyond you.
Well, that's the beauty of the United States.
If you were misinformation.
That was the beauty of the United States. We have the ability to say anything we want.
Not exactly.
Except two things. Fire in a movie theater, like you're endangering other people, or I want to kill the president. Because then the Secret Service have to, like Madonna said, I want to kill the president one time. I was a Republican president.
No.
And the Secret Service had a meeting with her and said, listen, I don't care who you are.
Those are the first two things.
What else is?
Well, as they would say,
against the laws.
Who holds power? What can't you speak about?
Now, in America, you can speak about anything.
Now you know who holds power.
We can speak about anything.
Can you?
States. Except killing the president.
You could talk about how crazy the Islamic world is.
Absolutely.
You can talk about.
You heard Joe Rogan's skit on Texas, right? Tell me you have heard this.
I don't know. If we had a B-roll, I might be able to see it.
Good call. So I'm going to screw this up, but Joe Rogan does it brilliantly. And I know the place is wrong, but I'm going to say Amarillo, Texas. Mm. So you could in the Middle East, you can't do a bunch of things. Like girls can't wear shorts, when they're in the army. They got to respect the laws of the country. Sharia law. And someone had someone drew Muhammad.
Something else you can't talk about.
Well, let's talk about.
I've heard this joke.
Let's talk about America.
I've heard this joke.
It's not really a joke. It's actually what happened. So this guy was hidden away because he drew a caricature of Muhammad, right?
Yeah.
So they're trying to hunt him down there to kill him. So he's got back to I'm going to say Garland, Texas, right? It might be the wrong space and wrong place, but in Garland, Texas, they predominantly started to say, we're going to have a Draw Muhammad contest.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
And then what Joe Rogan says, I don't know how blatant the trap has to be for you to think about this. Garland, Texas is having a Draw Muhammad contest.
Yeah.
I don't know how stupid these people could be. And then he goes, actually, two people did show up. And they pulled out their weapons and were killed immediately. I don't understand how you couldn't think that might be a trap. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So truth, when you draw something, it's amazing that you can be persecuted just for drawing something.
Telling the truth.
And truth. Well, if you draw something, it's got truth in it. The same thing.
The truth is a crazy one.
It is, but why is it? Why do we get hunted and killed for it?
Because you're fucking with powers that be. And really, this is the part that scares the shit out of me about a lot of things. Everybody's so goddamn broken up that nobody can be unified enough to actually tell enough truth to make real change.
Do you know why that is?
Because we're divided on purpose.
Why though?
Because it's politically beneficial.
So if you wanted to take over a country,
politically beneficial,
and you were to take over the politics, and you had 50% of the people, you only have to fight 50% of the people. If you break it in quadrants, fours, you only got to fight quarter of the
divide and conquer is as old as it gets.
Yeah, and that's the truth.
Yeah, and that's what they very true. You can do it with herd animals. You can do it with politics, whatever. It's
exactly. So that's what they're doing to us.
Yes, and I think, and everybody's on their own fucking island anymore. And especially with the COVID thing, you saw people don't even really associate with people. They don't go outside much anymore. Everybody's on their own fucking island. So much so that the grocery store will come and deliver food to your house. You don't even have to leave your house to get food. Don't tell me that with the same creature who's inside watching fucking news all day, going fucking crazy about that. Now, not only that, they don't have to go outside and associate with other people, so anxiety just gets pumped up through the fucking roof.
Yeah, it does. Well,
because they're watching all this doomsday bullshit all the time. It's like, fuck.
Do you think?
Then you talk about why anxiety levels have gone through the roof in the past few years. It's like if it bleeds, it leads. One, plus 2 people are trapped in their homes, and how many older folks just sit there and religiously watch news all day anyway? Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess younger folks too, but whatever.
Well, I'm considered the older folks. You're considered the younger folks. I don't watch the news.
I'm in between somewhere. They say most young people get their news from TikTok, so I am not a part of that group.
Actually, I'm a part of that group now.
So, yeah, but it's TikTok. Fuck you, TikTok.
We love TikTok. So the algorithms is what makes your bias. They target your bias. They see what you like, and then they feed you more of it, right?
I know.
And so it's really you consuming the bullshit that you want to hear.
That's a mirror of you. I'm aware.
Well, you're consuming the bullshit you want to hear, so you don't hear an opposing thought.
Well, this is the echo chamber bullshit, but you gotta actually, yes, I know that, but I've also watched Young Turks shit, and I watch other shit that's not in my lane, right? Because I want to hear the other side, maybe what they think about something. That's not everybody, though. Most people don't want to get outside of their echo chamber. They want to reinforce what they already think is true, and it's an emotional fucking quasi-intellectual pursuit. It's really just an emotional pursuit.
So is it intellectual? I mean, are you?
Well, they're thinking that it is because they're gaining more information, but it's really just fucking convicting what they already believe is all they want to hear.
Right.
So because they think they're learning new stuff to embolden their cause or their thinking about something, they think they're on some actual intellectual approach, which is bullshit.
Well, where's the bullshit start?
Find the people that disagree with you and see if that makes any sense. That's an actual intellectual pursuit.
That's like that Charlie Kirk did that, God, what was it called?
Change My Mind thing?
No, he was in the middle of like 20 liberals, or woke people.
That was a Jubilee
yeah, but what was it called? It was like Hot Seat or something like that. It was absolutely awesome. And then this one girl, he goes, why you vote for Kamala Harris? She goes, yeah. He goes, why? And she goes, well, because she's a black female. He goes, well, tell me one thing she's done. And she's like, I don't know. Well,
this is man. Did you ever see that commercial? There was a commercial a while back. I can't remember who the hell it was for. Maybe William Penn or some weird thing like this, right? And they were talking, and they were like, they had a picture of like the founding fathers and like this church or whatever the hell, and they're showing them like ironing it out, arguing over this and that, and then they got to the voting part, and they were like, and everybody should vote because they're kind of getting away from the king, right? It's like, everybody should vote. He says, everybody, even the stupid ones, even the stupid ones. But that's it, right? It's an all or nothing approach because as soon as you start deciding who can vote, then it becomes who's in power gets to decide, and then it gets fucking weird.
It's always going to be weird, no matter what we do. But, the one thing I love is we're not you think we're in a democracy?
Constitutional republic, right?
Constitutional republic.
I think that's not even it anymore. I think it's more of a technocratic oligarchy kind of thing.
It can get there.
It's like tech is leading the way. The Raytheons, the Boeings, tech is leading the way.
We got to stop that. We're still way.
I mean, dude, they're running. They're probably the lobbyists that they can pay for with that money. They've self-perpetuating fucking war machine. Those probably who run in the country. There's your oligarchy and your technocratic, because the tech world, like the fucking Facebooks, they were censoring people. They've come out recently. Did you see all that?
I heard
Zuckerberg came out saying like, "Yeah, we're not gonna do that this time." Like, what do you mean do that? Do what? Oh, Twitter.
What did he say?
They're basically, I want to say basically just shadow banning shit that they didn't want to see.
They had daily meetings with the government. They said they didn't earlier.
I don't know the details, but he had his finger on the button. He could do what the fuck he wanted to do, and
I think he was being pressed.
He pushed it. He's on his own. Oh, another fucking coward. So he should fucking give up the company then. Sell that motherfucker to Elon too, because he's the only motherfucker that can handle this shit. You see him get kicked out of Brazil?
Who did?
Elon. Because they're pressing him on some shit like the current regime doesn't want to see around on Twitter and stuff. And he's like, fuck y'all. And they're like, yeah, you can't be in Brazil anymore.
Cool.
And anybody who is there using it gets fined like a certain amount of money every day. Until
to have a car?
To use Twitter or X now. X. Sorry about that. I don't want to call it Twitter anymore. Twitter's a bad taste. I'm with X.
I'm on it too.
I'm on Team X. Fuck Twitter. I was a little nervous. I was like, but you know what? He's just rocking so hard. I'm like, go, dude.
He is kind of brilliant. I mean, he's
he got kicked out of Brazil.
Yeah, but you know what? You got to shatter a few eggs and make an omelet.
I'm fine with it.
Right, like.
But it shows you. I said something to somebody. Comment probably somewhere. It's just like, wow. You really see how much the world hates a free country. Or a free speaking country, you know.
Oh yeah.
You see it once it's broadcast to the world. You see who isn't with free speech.
Oh, absolutely. What do you think about Trudeau?
What about him?
Do you think he's up on free speech?
I told you before. I said Canada is no longer a free country.
No, I agree with that.
It's not.
I hear. I was at a real estate meeting last weekend actually, and there's some Canadian friends of mine, and. We were talking, and I go, what's going on with Trudeau? And he's like, he's lost his mind. Like he's just
drunk
literally
on power.
Lost his mind.
He's drunk on power.
When you start taking when you take your citizens' pay from them, from the banks, for the truckers for protesting, just for protesting.
You took the bank accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How fucked up is that?
You're not in a free country, and that is evidence of it.
That's what I love about America. They can't do that. Over there, here's the weirdest part. This is
not
the part.
Here's
really.
The part. Here's
not
the part really. Where you're off.
Well, here's my statement, and show me why I'm off. So my statement is: in America, the government works for us, and we are at fault for not controlling them.
Well, if you want to get
and the other countries, you work for the government.
And if you want to get really in deep into it, as I saw it written before, the government only exists if we, the people, allow it.
Here.
In writing.
Here.
In writing.
Here.
Ha! Yeah, well, this is the only one that matters, really. We drive the boat for the rest of the world, really.
And, moving to Florida here, what kind of blows my mind? I talked to a bunch of people from Cuba. And I'm like, that is so interesting to hear what goes on there.
Why?
Well, it's kind of communism.
Yeah. There's a reason they're here. Not there.
There's a reason they're here. I mean,
and they all vote right. They all vote Republican. The left hates that shit so bad because it's the one immigrant group they can't capture.
And they warn us about what they're seeing.
This is a thoroughly red state, and it always will be. And Cuba is just helping the cause right there.
Well, yeah, I don't know how. They say there's more liberals than Republicans now. I'm like, that can be okay.
They're temporary. They'll be gone.
You think so?
Yeah, they can't handle this heat. They start melting the snowflakes they are,
The snowflakes.
They can't handle this shit. They walk outside and like, I'm offended by DeSantis.
I love DeSantis.
He's okay.
What don't you like about him?
He flops too hard.
How so? What do you mean?
Well, the flip is getting with the program, so to speak, right? You are in a left state and you are a Democrat governor of some sort, so you just flip with the program. Oh, that's the agenda? All right, let's go with it. And he fucking flops so hard the other way. Like when the mask thing came about, and my wife was freaking out about this type of stuff for a little while, but so I've seen this on a couple things with him. It worries me a little bit. Is that we went from school saying you have to have masks on all the kids and everything. And that was the mandate that was coming down. You have to have masks. But his response was, there are no masks allowed. And that's just as bad.
You think so?
Yes. If people want to fucking wear a mask, let them wear a mask. If people don't want to wear a mask, don't fucking make them wear a mask. But don't just fucking go in the opposite direction because you just don't like that shit.
Well, I mean,
and I've seen him do this a number of times.
There's certain logic. There's certain logic.
He'll drive so far the other way that I can't even follow you.
No, that's not good.
That's not good.
No.
But I think he flops for the audience, maybe, or maybe for the garnering attention. I don't exactly know why he goes so hard in one direction. But he should be reasoned in the middle. Maybe that's why I don't like it. But I like most of what he does, you know. I like him get Disney out of there, fucking do another gay shit, right? Get the gay books out of schools. I'm with all that dumb shit, right? So he does a lot of good, but it's just there's a couple of things I've seen.
Makes you cringe.
It's like, what would you do if you had real power?
Yeah, he didn't do too well in the presidential.
Well, because he's another politician. Even though he's a great politician, he's another politician, and that's not what the country really wants to see. They want to see like something like a Donald Trump or something.
Man, you know what? I
don't even think he's the best. I really like Vivek though. I am all over his shit. I'm like, yeah, there's a guy.
I know, but he didn't do well.
There's a guy. Only because of Trump. And nobody knows who he is. Everybody knows who the fuck Trump is. But so here's where my spin is. So Trump is coming right from the left. Vivek is coming right from libertarian. Oh, yes. Now we're talking. We get to give power back to the people.
What if, what's his name? Vivek?
Vivek. He says Vivek like cake.
Vivek would have been a great vice president.
No.
Absolutely.
No.
You think president?
Yeah. He's got to be.
Well, he could have, if he would have hopped
on
the Trump train, and then he would have won, then he would have been a vice president. Once he's a vice president, you can just take the next step.
Well, he's the only one, I think, that will get into the presidency and bring the sledgehammer.
I don't know. I think
because there are so many things that need to be destroyed and broken.
Agree with that. I agree with that statement. But I think
Donald's going to get in there and play the game a little bit. That's not what really people, I don't think, want to see. They want to see this shit broken because there are fucking institutions, whether it's FBI, CIA. These things need to be remodeled.
Why do we need three?
Well, what's the other one?
CIA, Central Intelligence,
FBI,
and Secret Service.
Well, the FBI is domestic, they say. CIA is international, they say.
Why does it
and
need
Secret
to be
Service is for the president, but they could be fucked off too, apparently, because they don't do their fucking job, apparently.
Well, they did do the job wrong.
They did it. They just did it wrong.
Because they showed off. They did their job, but they did it wrong. Because
the whole thing is weird as shit to me. I've had several conversations with people I know that know tier 1 guys and everything else. You can't tell me that the Secret Service does not have some of the best and most highly trained people that walk this planet.
I guarantee you they do.
I know they do. Without a doubt, I know they do. And they fucked off like that?
I don't know if they fucked off or the leader, the one that was in charge of the operation, said nobody on that roof because it's too steep. That was a 2 fucking pitch. That roof was a 2 pitch.
Dude, I wish I had the B-roll right now. I'd show you some wild shit. I sent you the shit with CNN.
Right.
With the window that overlooked that roof, they could have jumped from this huge window, open it, could have jumped to the roof. It was so close. What the fuck are you telling me? You're telling me that these highly trained individuals
they were told not to. They were told not to be in a position.
Okay, so it's so corrupt. It's too corrupt for its own good.
Well, here's something for you. I saw the craziest thing. I saw this kid get hypnotized to shoot somebody at an opera.
Mm.
And they set it up. The guy was hypnotized him. The kid came up and he pulled the gun out and shot. It was a blank, but it showed that you can hypnotize someone to do it.
Mm-hmm.
How far off is it from them hypnotizing this kid?
Mm-hmm.
Tell him to go kill the president, giving him the space to get off get him the space to get 3 rounds off, and then they had to show, oh, we got to take him out. Now he's dead. Conspiracy theory number 1. He's dead. The government tried to get
about the shooter guy.
Yeah, he's dead. There's no evidence he was hypnotized.
Well, have you even seen Rogan say that his place has been scrubbed? Did you know that?
No.
They can't find a fingerprint on his. I don't even know if he has silverware. Dude, he's been scrubbed, and they talk about him as if he's an untrained shooter, but there's a lot of evidence to suggest otherwise now.
Like what?
Like he's been practicing.
I'm sure you're gonna practice if you're gonna try to kill the president.
I'm just saying. Seems weird.
It is weird. The weirdest part about the entire thing is how the president turned his head at the last second. The last second.
That's when they were like, Jesus is with him. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. Whatever.
If that's a coincidence, by him turning his head, that's the biggest coincidence on the planet ever.
Oh, well, truth is often stranger than fiction.
I agree with that. Wholeheartedly.
I heard a wild pitch a while ago said you need to make Robert Kennedy the head of the CIA. I was like, yes, fuck yes.
And FDA.
No, he just gets the CIA. And FDA. He gets the CIA.
And the Food and Drug Administration. That's who. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He would love that FDA shit. He would personally love that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna fix this.
But I think you put him at the top. You're the head of the CIA now, dude.
And the fucking Food and Drug Administration.
Cleaning the house.
What do you think about dude, I saw this girl. I wish I could remember her name. She was doing a report of the United States health-wise, and she said it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
As far as what? Horrible. What metrics? Like what?
Every metric you could possibly.
Oh yeah.
75% of people are obese. 74% of people are obese.
I don't know.
I hate to say this, you would be considered obese.
I am obese.
Do you know what that means?
Oh, it's a weight to height ratio thing.
Correct.
Age, yeah.
So
I'm technically obese.
Correct.
Do I seem obese?
No, you actually look really good. So the thing is that
too fat for my own good.
Not fat, it's muscle. Muscle weighs more than fat.
I know.
And then you understand that you're gonna just weigh more.
Yep.
And so it's really
it's a numbers game.
It's a numbers game. You got to be under a certain.
Even if you're fit, unrealistic. Even if you're fit, it's a numbers game that they're playing. So.
And I don't know if that's 100% true, but they said obesity is running rampant. They said back in the day, in the 70s, like when I went to school in the 80s, nobody was fat.
Well, yeah.
One person was fat in the entire 600 people.
I could show you that Rogan's talked about this a number of times, even pulled it up a number of times, talking about when Kennedy was president, how they were writing manuals about how you should be able to do this many push-ups, you should do this many pull-ups. Remember when they had the rope in the gym and all the kids had to go to the top of the rope and the fucking rafters and shit? Thank God.
Yeah, I do.
I never had to do that, thank God.
No, we
I probably did, but I sucked at it or whatever. I'm like, fuck this. I'm not going all the way up there.
Loved it. Had a great time. And that was our expectations back then. It was called the Presidential Physical Fitness Award.
Yeah, maybe.
And I got an award every year for doing the 60 push-ups in 60 seconds.
I think this might be the same criteria thing.
The Presidential Physical Fitness, I think at the time Arnold Schwarzenegger was part of it. He
but
designed it for
large numbers of the population were doing this just fine.
What happened between then and now?
We've been fattened up. We're like our own farm.
What happened?
Well, we've been, like I said, we're like our own farm now. Well, look at the presence of fast food back then.
There wasn't any.
Exactly.
I remember when I was growing up, I probably went to McDonald's
handful of times.
Yeah. I remember. I'll never forget this. My it was 11th birthday. Had this horrible event happening. It was the craziest thing in the world, but it all started off with I wanted to go to Hubris. So it was my birthday, and we had a party. And my dad came home, never home because he was always working. And he goes, "Where do you want to go to eat?" I said, "Arby's." Yes, he's like, you didn't do it that much. And I love their roast beef sandwich. And I was like, "This is awesome. This is really awesome." And my dad goes, "No, we're going to a nice restaurant." And we go to a nice restaurant on the way back to the house. this cop jumps out in the middle of 12 Mile and Hoover and just stops traffic. And these two ambulances, they come about this far from our car. You know, we're coming this way and just barely misses us. What the hell's going on? You get back to our subdivision, our street's blocked off. And I'm freaking out. Like, I'm 12. It was my birthday, like August 11th. I think it was 1979 or something like that. Or no, it was before that, probably 75 or 76. And then our street's blocked off. The cop's like, you can't come here. He goes, and my dad goes, we live there. All right, go by and, you know. And then they let us through. And then there's a house, a friend of ours. They had twins and a couple other kids, Simonsons. And we're walking by, and the cops are like hosing off the driveway. Like, shh. My brother Tommy's looking, and I'm like, oh shit. We used to make pipe bombs.
Okay.
Don't do this at home.
Well, this is loose and goose.
So this is what we used to do back in the day. We had those old chairs.
I remember doing
chairs.
This too. Drano bombs was the thing.
We used match tips, and we put it into a aluminum. Everybody was throwing away a old lawn chair. It was just wicker with plastic with metal.
Yeah, the metal frame bars. And the wood in between. Probably.
Yeah, we drill a hole in the middle of it. We crimp one end, pour it mash. Don't do this. Pour mash tips in, and then we crimp it off, and we put a wick in there, like hobbies. Like I had jets and stuff. Put it in there. Boom! One went off by one or two of my good friends were hitting it. One was holding it. The other one was tapping it. Hands got blown off. Another one got his stomach ripped open. And they came out. They were kids. They were 16, 17 at the time. I was 12. My brother was 16. And they come out of the garage. One's holding his guts in, and he fell down and he's passed out. The mother next door, brilliant lady. She went and got saran wrap and wrapped his stomach up and kept it all inside. They said that saved his life. The other one, they wrapped up his hands, and then they had to take him to the hospital. Those were the two ambulances that almost hit us. We were heading over there. And then we learned, I know, right? It's a crazy story.
We were going to Arby's.
We were going to Arby's. And we got here.
Yeah.
But that was my treat, was going to Arby's.
Well, there's something else to talk about too. Even when I started working, I wrote this down, but it's like everybody brought their lunch.
Yeah.
How many people do now?
Nobody. You think that's it, the food? Because they're trying to get it as cheap as possible.
Absolutely. I've heard it. I don't know if it's true or not, but they say that you can't even sell our ketchup in Canada.
Probably not.
Because it's got weird chemicals and shit.
Oh, with
the food, man. We're just fucking with the food nonstop.
There's a girl in England that
she
has a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Of just eating our shit.
Yeah, you can't get our food over there. Like almost none of it.
People are like sending it over.
Yeah.
You know what she lost her mind on? Lost her fucking mind. Ranch dressing.
Why?
She goes, this is awesome. Oh, this is the best.
Really?
Ranch dressing, because it's so bad for us. They can't have it over there. Like you said, the ketchup. Certain candies. It's
like 90% of what we eat they can't have. It's some fucking astronomical number.
Who's wrong?
We are wrong.
Exactly. But we're
because they food, like I said to somebody recently, they were going over somewhere, and I'm like, dude, I would love to eat their food because they have real food still. They have. Rogan has talked about this a number of times, but because he's Italian, right?
Right.
The spaghetti and the pastas and stuff, and he said that he'll go over there and eat, and he doesn't get like carb crashed out and stuff because it's just different. It's just better. It's cleaner. It's
so
probably closer to source, less processing and everything. And there's a fucking preservative in everything. There's a fucking additive in everything. There's a fucking phenol red, which is there's like banned ones and shit, and they work their way around. And because it's a technocratic fucking oligarchy bullshit, and everybody who has the most money, they're trying to cut profits. So it's just
they're also making our food more addictive.
Yeah.
So
that's
you're talking about those people in Europe. There's this guy on TikTok. He goes, I can't have wheat in the United States. I'm allergic to wheat in the United States.
Well, this is probably where people lean in with the like gluten allergies and stuff.
He said he had a gluten allergy, and then he went to Europe. He went to Italy actually, and he said, I eat pasta every day and I eat pizza every day.
That's scary. And he's like, that is so scary.
He goes, it's not bothering me at all. But, and I'm not promoting Gary Brecker, but he
Brecker.
sounds like a great Gary Brecker.
Dude,
sounds like a great guy.
Dude seems to be on it. The
methylating
of all of your nutrients in your body and different compounds, different things. Oh man!
But he's saying there's folic acid sprayed on all our wheat, and he goes, folic acid doesn't exist in our dietary supplements.
Because you don't eat leaves.
But he goes, it's only in the wheat that we eat. In folic acid, he says, I took the test. I don't know if you took the test. So they have a gene test, and they tell you what your
what methylates with you and what doesn't, or
what doesn't, what's broken in your system. And then he gives you some not drugs. He gives you some
remedies,
minerals and vitamins that offset that problem. And so I tried it for a little while. It didn't work out great for me, but I think he was trying to tell me to stay away from bread and the folic acid, because I had the MFT, the motherfucker gene he calls it. It's the motherfucker gene. And it's the majority of people. Is that
because so many people have it, I guess?
Yeah, that too. And what it does is you can't sleep and messes with your brain. I can't shut it off at night, which I can't. Can't do it. And I probably had 4 hours sleep last night. That's it. I am going to lose my mind one day. So hopefully it's on camera.
Well, we got you at your best.
Bold ideas here,
so
baby.
When it happens later, we got you at your best already.
There you go.
But dude, our food is fucked.
I know, but the evidence is there's 70% obesity. Back in the 70s?
Kamala, I guess, said something about forcibly regulating food prices. It's like, oh, people are going to die. That's what that means.
Yeah. That's not a free market.
Yeah, I know. Scary shit. Because the price of food has gone crazy. He's like, you know how the left does. They do everything by force. They don't care about common sense and logic. Ever tell you about the sparrows?
No.
It's like one of those hubris of man stories. I think it was the guy before Mao. You know who that was? I don't remember. He was a famous guy too, like Mao. Can't remember the name of it. I think it was before Mao. Might have been Mao. But they had an issue where the sparrows were killing some of their plants and their crops. And they were like, all right, well, what are we going to do about this? And they're like, all right, I know what we're going to do. We're going to go through and kill all the sparrows. It's like, oh shit, all right, well, let's go with that. And then they went through and they killed all of the sparrows. I don't know how much of their crop was supposedly lost to the sparrows. Let's just say 30% of their crop was lost to the sparrows. Well, they killed the fucking sparrows, and now the fucking caterpillars have gone crazy, and you lost everything. And now fucking like tens of thousands of people are starving to death because you're a fucking idiot who thinks that you can put your finger on the button of the ecosystem and you will just have it your way. Well, have it your way, you dumbass.
That is a crazy story.
The hubris of man thinks he can just fuck with things and things won't come about.
We're fucking with things every day.
Well, I mean, you're going to go on the food thing. I think that we're fucking the food up enough, and we have too many goddamn people. I was talking to my dad about this earlier, that eventually people are just going to be eating people. And then we just have to get to that point because we're going to get to that point, dude. They're overfishing the seas, chronic wasting disease with the deer and everything, right? The vegetables you can't trust anymore, as you just said. The fruits, who knows how much trustable they are. Food is fucked.
I don't disagree with that, but I don't think we're gonna.
It's inevitable. You keep going down this road. Look at the pile of trash in the Pacific, the size of Texas. Come on, dude. We're destroying this planet.
I don't think we can.
And we're destroying everything in it.
I don't think we can. I don't think we can affect the planet if we tried. I don't think if we lit off every freaking nuke and we all died, I don't think we could. So
how about the overfishing that China's doing?
Pardon?
How about the overfishing that China's doing? They're going to other continents to take their fish because they have fucking done away with theirs, I guess.
So
I remember, was it Chile, Argentina, something like that? They were pissed because all these fishing boats from China had come down their way in South America, and they're overfishing their shit now.
They, the Chinese are fucked.
Well, in what regard?
Population decrease,
demographic collapse.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They made a brilliant idea. You can only have one.
The one kid policy. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they mostly hope for boys, and maybe subverted the girls or sent them somewhere else, and now you got a population of young men with no women to breed with.
Yeah,
there's just collapsing.
What a disastrous problem.
It really is. And I don't know if you know this. Don't take this the wrong way. For the Asian population, we love you guys, but it's not really a sought after place to go to China and find a man.
No, I would go to Japan before I would go to China for anything. Anything Asian, I would just probably go to Japan now if I wanted something.
You want to hear something crazy?
Sure do.
I'm going next month.
I know. I told you I could send you a picture of Tokyo right now. I know somebody.
You got somebody over there right now?
Right now.
It's kind of cool, man.
It's the coolest place ever, it seems.
My daughter loves it. It's been there a couple times.
Yeah.
Loves
it's from the future. If you've seen any videos, you've seen it. It's from the future. Apparently 7-year-olds can just take themselves to school. Bizarre. They could just, here you go, here's your metro pass, kid. Mm-hmm. Go walk to the metro, get on the metro, take your ass to the school. You're like 7 years old. What the fuck? Nobody bats an eye.
No, because everybody's trying to help them. There isn't. That's the way it should be.
No shit, but it ain't. That's why it's so awesome.
I'll let you know. I'll report back to you when I get back.
Dude.
But
please tell me you're going to see Musashi's cave at least.
No, you know what I'm going to do over there?
Go see Musashi's cave.
What's Musashi's cave?
You know Musashi?
Nah. Is that the sword
Book
maker?
of Five Rings? I think it's the Book of Five Rings. He was a swordsman back, a samurai, true samurai back in the day. I think he killed 63 people in one-on-one combat. He was like the baddest man. And so he, knowing he was dying for some fucking reason, went to and kind of exiled himself to a cave where he would die. And in dying, he wrote the Book of Five Rings. He wrote that book while he was in the cave.
I should know this.
You should know this.
I know I should know this. You're making me feel bad for not knowing.
Well, now you know to go to Musashi's cave, because I think it would be one of the coolest places to go to, because it's a real place. And you know a little bit about what happened there.
I got to read up before I go.
Yes, please
My daughter's got the itinerary. We're going to have to follow that itinerary.
Yes. I told a friend that's over there, I was like, you got to go. I told him a month or two before he even went. I didn't even know he was going, and they told me, I was like, dude, you got to go.
I wanted to, when I go there, I wanted to train in a martial arts.
A real dojo, like over there?
A real dojo.
Yeah.
Find one that
not a Mick dojo?
Not a Mick dojo. There's not too many Mick dojos over there, by the way.
You know the Mick dojo guy?
Isn't it a
Ken what the hell is his name?
He's not Mick dojo. Don't do that.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yes, don't Master Ken.
Yes.
Master Ken.
Yes.
He is absolutely the best martial artist on the planet.
Probably.
He has
I think Chuck Norris learned from him.
The thrust of freedom.
I think Chuck Norris learned from him. Everything he knows, he learned from Master Ken.
The guy is absolutely brilliant.
The lone wolf.
The lone wolf.
He came out of Master Ken's teachings.
So it's not Mick dojo. He has the tiger paw or something like that, and how he bows. Literally the funniest martial artist I've ever seen in my life. I probably pee my pants every time.
Good stuff. A
good friend of mine, my John Zuris, good friend of mine, that was a heavyweight breaker when I was a lightweight breaker, and we were just best friends. And he's like, he showed me Master Ken. He goes, you haven't seen Master Ken? I'm like, no. He goes, here. I'm like, stupid. That is stupid. That's really stupid. That's the coolest thing.
Yeah, it turns quickly, don't it? You know, I saw a video out there. Jocko brought him to his origin camp or some shit.
No, he didn't.
Yes,
Master
he did.
Ken at Jocko's?
Yep.
Oh, shit, I got to see this.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I would love that, dude. I almost got to roll with Jocko one time.
I know you told me you met him and stuff.
Oh, that was crazy.
That would have been so cool.
It would have been so cool. I wish I would have done it.
Smushed your ass in 3 seconds.
My objective is to see how long I can last.
Giant individual. Beyond.
He's not that tall.
No, not tall.
But he's beef.
Fucking 4 foot wide, though.
And here's the story. I'll tell you.
It's a fucking gorilla, man.
I'll tell you this story.
Vanilla gorilla for real.
He is a vanilla gorilla. I watched this before I went out there. I watched some of his tapes, and he's really, 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 really good. So it was a business meeting. It was a convention, and he was a keynote speaker, right? And so the head table had all the coaches for this group that we were in, 7-figure flipping. Bill Allen, love the guy. And at the head table, one of the guys, Andy McFarland, good friend of mine, says, "Hey man, you wanna go to the head table?" I'm like, "I'd love to talk to Jocko." Go ahead. So I went and sat at Jocko's table, and he went and sat back. I was like, that was just a really cool event. And I'm talking to him, And I don't know how we got on it. I go, man, dude, I'd love to. He goes, I like to roll. I go, I'd love to roll with you. He goes, anytime, anywhere. I'm like, well, we're on cement with carpet on it.
Well, you can go up to Victory MMA. That's his house he built over there.
So I was there. I was in San Diego, and he goes, I go, I'd love to roll with you. He goes, anytime, anywhere. I go, where's your gym? He goes, Victory. I'm like, I go, that's in San Diego, right? He goes like, yeah. I go, oh, look, I'm gonna try and make it out. Well, let's try and do Thursday. He goes, all right. And hey, Mr. Willings, you gotta speak now. He fucking hits the table. Boom! I like choking people the fuck out. And then he just walks away.
He just made an impression. Yeah.
There was a girl at the table that
it's different when a gorilla does it, though, isn't it?
It is.
There's some volume to it.
There was a girl at the table who's a real estate investor who knows nothing about martial arts. And she was like, oh, like he was gonna kill me.
The table flipping, Jim.
And she's like, oh. I go, wait, no. I would tap, I'd tap, and they'd let me live. That's how this is gonna work. I've rolled with people before. He is a badass individual, but once you tap, you get to live. So just understand that. Yeah, she's like, oh. And I was laughing how hard that situation freaked her out. I mean, she was terrified.
Wow, that's outside of her bubble.
Well, the way the guy's like choking the people fuck out. What he's trying to tell me is, don't let me get your back, because then I'm gonna naked choke you. I like choking people out. This ain't gonna be easy. He likes choking people out. I get it.
Well, that's the name. He doesn't like arm bars. He
doesn't like arm bars. He doesn't like Kimuras. He likes
Kimura. No. I've heard him talk about a Kimura as one of his.
He does, but he likes choking people out.
Well, that's the name. That's the name of the game.
There's other ways to submit somebody.
Okay. Well, look, he's coming at it from a real world perspective. He's not coming like, I'm going to break your ankle and then I'm going to step back 10 feet and watch you do whatever you're going to do. He's like, nah, this is ending right now.
Well, he's going to end it
that's what I'm
decisively.
Saying. That's what I'm saying. Though. When you choke somebody, it's over.
It is.
You could walk around with a broken arm and try to fight. Like if, let's say it's a real life, like an insurgent, right? You're not going to come up to him and break his arm and then just be like, oh, I'm good now. A real life application, you're going to sleep that motherfucker, dude.
So all depends on what you're going to do. If you're coming in, you got rounds, and you're too close, you got to use your knife. But
if you're going to hand on hand in a realistic situation, I would think somebody's going for the neck. Somebody is going for the neck.
They have a philosophy. It's you or me, and I choose you.
Somebody's going for the neck.
Agreed. Neck.
That's just.
I don't.
There's nothing more important than going for the neck.
There's a couple. There's some arteries in here. There's some spots inside here that can end
solar plexus stuff.
Yeah, you got to come up. You hit the heart.
They hit the sternum in a weird way to make it
coming up into the heart. So it all depends on the thrust and the angle. I'm not giving anybody bad ideas.
You got to get so intimate to even get there. I think everybody's just going for the neck at that point.
Agreed. Easiest, fastest.
Yeah, once I get your neck, you're done when you get your neck.
Agreed.
It's over for everybody.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly.
I mean, everybody, really.
I wonder what happens if they were fighting and they start choking the guy out and the guy taps and he lets go by instinct alone. Oh shit! You know what I mean? Like, because when someone taps, you got to just like throw your hands up in the air, and you learn that relatively quick. Because once you
there's a few assholes out there. You'll see these rats. They call them. Professional fighters that are rats. They fucking call them dirty rats. They'll watch. You can look it up on YouTube. You see some videos. Dudes that I got his arm and he's tapping, but I break it anyway, and I'm gonna finish the match. I break his leg anyway. There's a couple of dirty fighters that will do that shit.
There's a couple, but
they call them rats though.
I was looking for the Cobra Kai dojo, and I've been traveling around the United States and actually the world doing martial arts, and I've never found that dojo. I've never seen that dojo.
Is it a real place?
There are some. I haven't found it. I'm not saying
it's not a real place.
I found
even if it's a real place, isn't it a mockery of the real one?
It's a movie, so I don't know how
It's got to be Master Ken's dojo or something.
Yeah, there's that. There's a lot of that.
Mick dojo shit.
But with the bad ones, I don't think there's bad dojos. I think there's bad students.
What?
I don't think there's bad dojos. I think there's bad
That's assuming there's no bad teachers.
There is no bad teachers.
Really?
Someone is willing to teach. You know, they can be bad at their
if a white
technique
belt
or
is
showing them.
If their white belt is teaching, you don't think there could be bad teachers? And also true too, that even just because you're tenured doesn't mean you're better at doing it now.
Absolutely not. Yeah, you're 100% right on that. Yeah, absolutely. Just because you're tenured doesn't mean you're any good.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. I see this with doctors a lot, with dentists a lot. It's like by the end of their careers, they don't give a fuck much. They're trying to just do their shit and go home.
I think I'm a very good teacher, and I think I've seen a lot of great teachers, but I also seen some bad ones. And it's not their fault. And here's why. It's not their fault.
Well, the buck stops with the student, really?
The bucks, well,
that's a bold claim. There's a bold idea.
It's a bold idea. So there's a lot to what you're saying, and I'm trying to define it in a way. So is there bad teachers? I mean, there can be bad teachers that don't teach correctly and don't teach morals correctly. I'll give you that. But what I'm saying is there's, this one Miyagi. Let's go with,
all right.
Karate Kid says, there's no such thing as a bad student, only bad teachers. Because the student does what the teacher tells him to do.
I disagree with that too.
I do too, but that's my point.
The student can be a fucking asshole. And
well, the student
not take in what you're saying or whatever the hell, or not apply it, even though you said it the right way. He could just do his own fucking thing.
Let's just say, so that's a real pessimist outlook. I'm trying to be an optimist in this world.
What? And have you ever met a person?
Yeah, still try and be an optimist. So what I've learned in teaching is here's when you teach, you have a learning style. What's your learning style? So there's like visual,
hands-on.
If you see it, okay, tactile, right? Verbal and written down.
Man, I can understand it, but I will never grab it until I get my hands on it.
So you're tactile, right?
Yeah.
If I show you how to
have had done the thing for me to.
If I show you an up, I can go like that, right? So you had to catch it at the end, and if a hand comes in here, you're locking it in there.
But you can show me that all day, but until I feel those pressures and things,
as soon as you do the technique, and then I go, I'm gonna punch you. Do the technique, and then you go like this, and like it works. Then you get it. The why is more important than the what. This is the
That's
what.
With everything, though.
Correct. That's what I'm trying to say. And the martial arts is life. But when a teacher does that, you learn kinesthetically. So you have to show someone how to do that. Kinesthetically, like it's
not kinetically.
Kinetic learning. Kinesthetically. Okay. And there's verbal, there's visual, there's reading. So I think you have a teaching style too.
I think all of those matter.
They do, but what I'm saying is each person has a learning and teaching style. So you have a learning style is kinesthetic. What's your teaching style?
Which of what? What do you mean?
If you were to teach anything, how would you teach it? Would you write it down for somebody?
No, as it's done, I would talk it.
Would you talk it? So you're verbal.
Because I can modify my speech on the go.
Okay.
To what I need.
Perfect. So your teaching style is verbal. Your learning style is kinesthetic.
How many different teaching styles would you say there is?
I think there's 5. But what I'm trying to say is now that back to the student, the bad student that just doesn't care.
So you think that he's just not applying it in the way that he's going to pick it up?
No, here's a more pretty much. Yeah. Here's you're throwing me in 5 different directions trying to get a point. So as a teacher, my teaching style is kinesthetic. I got 10 students in front of me. 5 of them learn kinesthetic. 3 of them learn verbal, and 2 of them learn visual, and 1 learns written. My teaching style is kinesthetic. So I'm not going to get to all of them. Does that make sense? So we rotate our teachers, and some are verbal. So he gets the other one. So we rotate our teachers for each student to go through a semester. So they've had many different learning styles and many different teaching styles thrown at them. And then learn something. I'm not saying that the kid that, there are kids that don't try. But what if his learning style wasn't your teaching style? Is it his fault?
If you want my take, I would guess that everybody is that way, that you can learn a number of things about something, whether it's written, whether it's oral.
Correct.
But you'll never know until you do it.
That's you, though.
So, no, I think it's everybody.
Some people, I
think
a small population can read it out.
You can practice playing football, but you'll never know the speed, feel, and everything of the game until you do the game. And that's with anything. You can read about underwater welding for 10 years, but you'll never fucking know until you get to do the damn thing. What's really going on, what's going to go wrong, whatever.
So
I could be way wrong, but
in school you learn something, you get a degree, say engineering. I'm not saying like physical, engineering. So you can learn engineering as you go through it and not do it, but when you get there, you have a knowledge base that you can define to it.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Kinesthetically, football is totally different. That's
anything.
Physical.
You will never understand the intricacies of the engineering. You can know it by, not practice.
The written word.
You can know it by theory.
Theory.
And that's all you know until you do thing.
Right.
Whether it's written, whether it's oral, whether it's whatever.
Agreed.
I think that's the same for everyone. I could be wrong, but I think until you actually do the thing, you're never going to learn it.
I think you learn it more when you do it.
It's like hurry up and fail. So you can get along this process. Because you could sit and idle in camp and get smarter and smarter and smarter. But you're never going down the road. You're never going to figure it out.
Let's go this route. A friend of mine's a German teacher. He's going to college to be a German teacher, right?
A German teacher of
German.
Okay.
The German language. So he goes to Germany. By the time he gets done, he has a command of the German language.
Very different.
He can teach it.
Very different.
But you said anything.
It's not a hands-on learning thing. Okay. Practical shit, because you're talking about like intellectual shit now.
So we're talking about a skill.
I'm talking about things that you need your hands to do to learn.
Well, what is he? That's what I'm saying. By the time he's done with school, he has a command of that language.
But he doesn't need his hands.
He's able to teach it.
He doesn't need his hands to learn German.
Right. But you're talking physical versus verbal.
Yeah.
Teaching and learning styles. That's what I'm trying to illustrate. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get to engineers, let's say computer engineers. None of it's kinesthetic. None of it. Zero's kinesthetic.
I disagree.
In computer engineering, it's like designing worlds inside a computer.
Yeah, well, automotive, you could do the same thing.
Yeah, but
this is a part. Yeah, but I didn't know that when I was under it, I needed to get my hand in a weird position or needed a special tool. But you don't know that until you actually do the damn thing.
Well, I'm gonna bake your noodle a little bit.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm from Detroit.
Let's go.
And this is about 20 years ago that I wanted to work on this. You know, my teachers kind of gave me this idea. Do you know how do they think they put a car together now? First thing they do.
Plug it into a computer.
Digital.
Yeah.
Right? And it was really neat. And they had these glasses, you know, the VR glasses we have now. They had that 30 years ago. And you put them on.
Tony Stark shit.
And you have a chair, and you sit in the chair, and you can see the whole car. And what you can see is any differentials that you know, now computers will how do I put this? The computers will identify the problems. You can look around the whole dashboard. You can look at this. You can stick your head inside the door and look at the car, and then you can see where one part has a hole and the other wall has a hole, and you can see how they don't line up. Oh, we got to extend this one a millimeter, 2 millimeters, and you can go through the whole car and check it out before you put one part together.
That's cool.
It is cool. So
you're saying but in planning, you can actually account for things.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When it comes to someone's teaching and learning style, you know, is it verbal? Is it visual? You know what I mean? It's not just physical.
I should say that most of the things I'm talking about in this regard are hands-on things.
Correct.
Like if you're gonna have to perform and do said
I like challenging you a little bit. And
it's good. I like it. But most of the things I'm talking about is just physical production.
Don't disagree with that.
With this, because we started with the martial arts things. That's physical production. Then
but once you get into the teaching and learning part of it, it's really insane to think about. This is what blew my mind is I had to realize my teaching and learning style. I had to know myself before I was able to teach.
Know thyself.
It also says 500 years before that book said that was Sun Tzu, The Art of War. He goes, know your opponent as you know yourself. You need not fear 100 battles. Now, the part that most people miss.
Know thyself.
Know thyself. Most people say, I want to know my enemy like I know myself.
Know thyself.
What if you know the enemy in and out, but you don't know your weakness?
If I know thyself, I don't care.
Right. Right.
Because I'll deal with that as it comes, but I already know my base.
But if you knew both.
That's ideal.
Need not fear 100
That's
battles.
Ideal, obviously.
Well, that's the objective. He says no, and his like one sentence lines are like master's degree on
Sun Tzu.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's somebody who also philosophizized with a hammer. Yeah.
Yeah,
and he beat it down over years and years and filed it down to the sharp point of whatever he's telling you.
You know what I've noticed?
Never let your enemy, never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. That's a good one.
It's brilliant.
Like, but this is, a lot of stuff is like it's common sense stuff that you didn't realize. Like, oh, it is pretty profound, isn't it?
He's brilliant, and he says it in the shortest part. That's what I try and do.
That's with the hammer.
He does it in the shortest sentence possible, and then they have. Whenever you write a book about Sun Tzu, you have his teaching and then extrapolation of what that means.
A paragraph of the sentence.
No, more than a paragraph, pages. I'm not kidding, because what he's saying, and then he says, know your terrain. And then he says another sentence about knowing your terrain. And that is like, well, get the high ground, do this, do that.
The elevation, the wind, the sunlight, the weather.
Oh, yeah. You know, bring your.
Is it wooded? Is it open? Is it, just.
Bring your opponent to their death. Bring your opponent to their death. Have them. Well, have them come to where you're going to kill them.
How about never,
bring your opponent to their death?
What does he say? Something about never closing the golden bridge for them, as far as like you're routing your enemy, and that there's one escape route for them.
Right.
It's like, don't block that. Let them go.
Do you know why?
It's lost on me right now, but there's a reason.
Remember I said separate?
I don't know if he's planning on capturing them on the other side of that bridge or what the.
So think about that. If you're gonna destroy an army and you give them a way out, you're alleviating the people you do have to fight. So if you have 50,000 and 20 of them 1,000 leave,
divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer. And he was talking about that 500 years.
If you put it in quadrants of the army, then a quadrant of them leaves, then there you go.
Well, listen, dude, I think we've done an incredible job explaining the problems of the world.
Some of them.
I think we're going to have to sign off now. I want to thank you all for watching. This is Michael Menino.
Brian Goss.
And this is
Bold Ideas.
Bold Ideas. Thanks for listening. If you guys want to hit us up on social media, go right ahead and hashtag and just hit us up and see if we can help you out.
See what you think in the comments. Yep.